Last year, before the season even ended, in our ninth season, our team was already discussing what we were going to do for our upcoming 10th season to make it bigger and better than ever before and to celebrate a decade of Sir Henry's. One of the things that we threw out was a hayride, and here we sit. And what have we done? We have built a brand new haunted hayride attraction for our fans. We've added a whole new attraction, giving us 4 attractions now. It's unprecedented. It's unprecedented what our team has done this year alone, and I cannot wait to show our fans what all this experience is going to look like now. If you thought last season was great, it was, but it's nothing compared to what this 10th season is going to be. We had our first team meeting back in January. We discussed the hayride. It was going to be an option whether we wanted to do it or not. I myself, along with several other members of the team, had already put in a lot of remodel for the past 2 seasons, and some burnout existed. Naturally, we were kind of hesitant to do a major undertaking such as adding a 4th attraction, specifically a hayride.
We've always thrown around the idea of doing a hayride amongst the upper management. Contemplated if he was serious or not, just because of the excitement I would have creating something like this. But I knew it was real, or at least more than an idea, when we took an R&D trip up to Pennsylvania and did a couple hayrides up there, some of the best in the country. That's pretty much when I was like, okay, he's probably serious about this. And that was in the middle of 2022 season. We came back, we finished out the event, then we did our Christmas and Valentine's Day. And still that entire time, in the back of my mind, I was like, is he serious? Are we really gonna do this? Just because I was so excited to create something so large.
So the first meeting, which is kind of our meeting to decide everything, get our game plan for the season, ended with me basically pulling my hair out, not wanting to do anything. We decided to have a follow-up meeting. At the follow-up meeting, it was a lot better. It was after our Valentine's Day event, and we decided we are going to do a hayride. So we committed to it, didn't look back once we committed to it. We went crazy. We started remodeling our common area. 2 days after the Valentine's Day event ended, we tore down our front gate, tore down one of our facades, in addition to clearing the path and getting all the hayride stuff ready. Last week of February, we had already started building the first scene of the hayride, which is the Witch's Cabin.
And then once we cleared the land for it and everything like that, and really started working on the designs, I was like, okay, yeah, we're doing this. Let's do it.
And once we got that going, it was just kind of a snowball effect into everything else. We were able to start working on the barn construction, the Trick or Treat Town subdivision. Before long, we were working on the finale scene.
Start really getting into it February of this year, 2023, with the land clearing and designs and stuff like that. And that's just when we got excited, really. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed versus now, after finally doing it and completing it. Super proud of everything I have been able to accomplish, as well as Zach and the rest of the team. We've really come leaps and bounds with our skill level and our creative design with this attraction.
And it was really just Calvin and myself, 2 people, with Chris when he could help. We built everything you see on this hayride. That's a huge testament to just what we are able to do here at Sir Henry's with the resources that we have and our team being the way it is. We have a lot of different people who do a lot of different things because there are so many aspects of putting on an event this size. But I can't say enough about Calvin for the help he was able to give into getting the hayride to become reality, because I couldn't have done it without him, and Chris too, for that matter. You know, we had our other guys, Mark and Carlos. They did a lot of the groundwork, literal groundwork of clearing the path, clearing out the old sets from years ago that we hadn't used in quite a while. They got all that, they removed all that, and that allowed us to get started so early, which I think is why we were able to do so much with the time we had. We were able to avoid a lot of the Florida heat in the summer by getting started in February, March, and April, and getting a lot of the build done. By May, we had everything painted and distressed, which was crazy for me, but also a goal I had set for us. So it was awesome to achieve that. And then not just on the hayride, but the other pieces of the event. We built out and painted a whole new facade and exit for Trail 1, brand new, to kind of finish up that remodel. Trail 2 got a brand new porch. Trail 3 got some updates as well, all while we're building this hayride. So it's pretty crazy. We had our costume team led by Sam and Erica. All those guys were able to come in and give us a ton of support and just really hone in and give a lot of detail and focus to the costumes. That's one of my favorite things. I was able to kind of guide them on that, but also to get their creativity and talent into the costumes. And I think you see that more this year. And even the videos, the texture and the detail, the extra mile that we went to this year with putting all these looks together just to make it look so unique, but also stand out like nothing else in this area. Even the theme parks. I'm gonna go there. Top to bottom, brand new front gate. That was a big undertaking, but Lindsay and Rachel did a great job on that. It's the first big showpiece that you come into when you come to Sir Henry's. It's ginormous, almost twice the size as it was before. And the texture and detail they put in that alone, you will not find anywhere else in this area. Awesome stuff we were able to do with that. We updated our common area, made the common area bigger, made our queue lines bigger. Everything is just bigger. Bigger is better. We've got some awesome set pieces, prop bodies that are going into everything, not just the trails, but our photo ops for the common area as well. So that's extremely exciting stuff. Calvin also took it upon himself this year too to fabricate and custom build all of our animatronics for the entire event, mainly for the hayride. I think there's like 16 or 19 animatronic pieces that he custom created with the help of his brother for the hayride itself. So it's really, you're just going to add that element of animation to the show of the hayride, which is something that we started doing with the trails, but being the hayride is what it is. You're on a ride essentially. We're able to do so many different show style elements on a more theatrical level than in the trails. In the trails, you get the intimate close-up startle, jump scares, the crazy different scenes that you go in and out of. But with the hayride, we took a very large grand scale approach, went as big as we could with it. Now we kind of entertain you from your seat as you go through these different sets. One of my favorite set pieces on the hayride this year is probably the jack-o'-lantern, the giant jack-o'-lantern, 20-foot tall jack-o'-lantern that the hayride drives through. I wanted to do this for a while, even before the hayride, but it was just kind of the perfect fit to do it on the hayride. This is something that I was kind of hesitant to do. I don't guess I trusted my own ability, but after the chicken wire and the framing and the shaping it all out, and then Mark and Carlos and Calvin with the spray foam hard coating, this piece came together really, really cool. It's unlike anything else in this area that I've ever seen. It's going to be here for a long while. I'm excited for you guys to see it out there when you come through the hayride, as well as like our 75 plus individually carved jack-o'-lanterns that'll be scattered throughout the trees in this particular scene, along with the other few surprises.
I, by hand, hung and put the lights to every single one of those pumpkins, close to 100 of them, all in a matter of 4 or 5 days. And the first time I plugged it all in and saw it at night, man, it just kind of blew my mind, and just was something that I can really be like, yep, that is my scene, which it's not my scene, it's our scene. That I can really put my name on something that, like, I did that. I can stand there and appreciate it. I'm sure Zach said every scene is his favorite scene, but that one's probably gonna be my favorite. I think the guests are gonna talk the most about that. It's the most nostalgic Halloween, which is, we always kind of shoot for, kind of hit you guys in the soft spot with that.
The Trick or Treat Town, also a classic favorite scene of mine. I think you guys are really gonna love this. It's literally a subdivision street. I wanted to do a town style thing. One of the things that I've seen on hayrides done before has been like a western town or something to that effect. Asylum Row, Hillbillies. I didn't want to go that route. I wanted it to be more suburban, trick-or-treat, classic vintage Halloween, like when we did the candy tree, and that's a direct throwback to that. And that's what you got. It's kind of a nod to where I grew up in the subdivision, where the haunt started, where Sir Henry originated from. We put so many little details into this. All the house numbers mean something. We have mailboxes. We got a street sign that's literally Sir Henry's Trail, which is the street I grew up on, the namesake of the haunt. So many little details in there, down to the coloring of the buildings themselves. It's really, really cool. 90% of the Hayride path takes the original path of the first trail when we opened in 2014 at Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. Super long path went back into our woods and the way back, and the Hayride path takes that almost identical same path. Speaking of that first year, we had a pumpkin scene. We brought back the pumpkin scene in the Hayride and just went 100 times overboard with it. We had a big witch scene. I say big, wasn't big back then, for our very first year, and we went above and beyond with creating Beatrice and making that such a big part of the first thing they come to in the Hayride. You know, we had no animatronics the very first year. We really didn't know what the heck we were doing, and now just on the Hayride alone, where you've got almost 20 animatronics coming at you and interacting to tell the story, I think is just incredible as how far we've come. You know, if you follow our social medias, I put out some of the blow up pictures. Prime example of that being our very first church we ever did versus the church we have now. It's night and day. Testament to our fans for being so supportive, being so loyal, but also to our team and how it's grown, and just how much we've grown as artists and haunters, I guess you could say. All the Hayride is old icon characters from mainly our first trail, the trail all the way to the left. You have the Harvester, Hiram, Beatrice, Cain with the candy tree, and then we also have Dracula. There's just so many details packed into this Hayride and so much nostalgia and symbolism that we wanted it really to be kind of a thank you to our fans, but also an appreciation to where we've come from, an appreciation of the characters that made us into what we are today. I can't say how excited I am for this Hayride.
I'm just super excited to have real guests see it. I've seen extras and stuff in our photo shoots go through it, and it's just the most fulfilled I've ever felt really out here at this event, is seeing that first trailer with people go through it with the lights and the sound. And that was just for video shoots. Kind of blew my mind to realize that I was capable of something so grand. Very excited to have real guests go through it. I tell Zach this all the time, that I'm going to be on that first trailer with the first group of people going through, so I can hear the oohs and the ahs and everything like that. I also kind of have a more personal connection to this Hayride through the event because I am going to be the operating manager of it. So I will have the day in and day out, night to night experience with this Hayride. We're going to become real intimate after these 19 or 20 days. It's daunting. It's nerve-wracking, kind of hoping that it all works. We know it works. We've tested it, but it's nothing until we see that first trailer go through with that first, group of people.
I've always wanted to do a Hayride. Ever since I was a little kid, I used to love the Berenstein Bear books. And there was one, it was like a little chapter book or something, and it was like a haunted Hayride or something. And I remember reading it was like 5 or 6. Ever since then, I wanted to do a Hayride, and here we are today. We've poured our heart and soul into creating this epic ride, so I cannot wait for y'all to experience it.